with another interview. I am so stoked for this one. Y'all are going to want to pay attention, take notes. I know you're going to get something of value out of this because today I have the opportunity to introduce you all to Alan Lozano, one of my partners based out of San Antonio, Texas. And I've known Alan, I'm losing track of the years at this point, 5+ years. Well, you've been partnered I think we've been partnered together darn near that long at this point. So we've known each other 5 years. He's someone who is crushing it in real estate. In fact, I might be getting ahead of myself here, but I would tell you all he is literally a real estate rock star. But he actually was named him and his brother, they're partners, but NAREP top 250 list in the entire United States. Out of that, one of the largest organizations in the industry. It blows my mind to this day, but making a big impact, helping a ton of people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. Alan's investing in real estate too, but I'm so stoked for our conversation today. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, man. I had to have you on. And man, I'm just so stoked to kind of dive more into your journey. I feel like I might learn something new here. So even as long as I've known you up to this point. But before we even dive into all the real estate stuff, man, tell us, like, what was life like prior to getting into real estate?
Well, I'm gonna blow your mind here real quick. So time flies when you're having fun, right? So I've known you, Tyler, since 2016. So what is that going on 7, 8 years, right? It's
That's right.
like time flies when you're having fun and helping people and selling real estate. So yeah, got into the business in 2016. And actually Tyler was one of the first contacts that we ever knew in real estate. We were doing a coffee and cold call session, and Tyler and some of his partners were there, and we met him. And Tyler's been nothing but supportive and super encouraging to us in our real estate career, even when we were at different companies back then. But let's go back a little bit further. Before that, my brother and I played music. And, we were trying to go all the way to the top. We wanted to be touring musicians, playing professionally, traveling the world, and we had a lot of fun doing it. We played modern rock. I was the singer. My brother Daniel, who's also my real estate partner, he was the drummer. And we had a lot of fun doing it. We did it from the time we were teenagers all the way until our early 30s, man. And we really gave it a good run. We tried with everything we had. We got close on a couple occasions, but man, we had some great opportunities along the way. And when we made the decision to get into real estate, it really was a pretty seamless transition because we went from promoting ourselves as musicians and promoting the band and promoting our albums and everything like that to promoting ourselves as professionals in real estate. So it was like passing out flyers was the day-to-day thing for the band. Now we're doing the same thing. We're passing out brochures, we're meeting buyers, we're talking to people. So it was a good transition. But yeah, that was our past. And we were working, some standard day jobs before that. But real estate started calling our name, and, we haven't looked back since. We've been having a blast.
That's so interesting, man. I never thought about like how that would translate well into our industry. But like, what was it specifically that you and your brother recognized about real estate that prompted you to really dive deep into the industry here?
Yeah, so great question. So, we were doing the music thing, having a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, man, the only reason we were able to do that is because we had the support of our family. We had the support of our spouses, our ladies and everything helped us through. And, we were living at home for a long time. We would, stay wherever we could, and our families helped us. And really that's what got us into real estate, because we started noticing what our parents were doing. Right. And, both of Daniel and I's parents are, they're both in the medical field. They're in the pharmacy profession. And my dad decided to switch his retirement plan and his retirement vision and go self-directed. And the first thing that he did is he bought a threeplex of real estate. And I remember him talking to us, and he was real nervous. He said, I don't know what I did. That was pretty expensive, and I used a good chunk of money to do it. And And he said, I'm a little nervous. But then he started seeing the rents coming in, and he started seeing how lucrative it could be. So he said, okay, well, this is pretty cool. Let's do it again. Right. So he bought another piece of property, and then he bought another piece of property. And Daniel and I looked at each other and we said, that that's the field we need to get into. Not only selling real estate, but investing in real estate for the long term. Because real estate is it's the in my opinion, it's the ultimate investment. So we saw our parents doing it. It was working out well for them. So Daniel and I said, that's what we got to do.
That's so awesome that y'all recognize that example. It kind of makes me wonder how many people out there have people close to them in their life that they see doing these same things, but maybe, it doesn't kind of click in the same way it did for y'all. But makes sense that you kind of saw how that was able to help and support with, things that y'all were doing too from your loved ones. Let's like I know like so when we met, like you mentioned earlier, we were all at different brokers. We had connected, and I think we all recognized at that point, hey, we're all kind of younger on this journey into real estate, kind of trying to really build that initial traction in our business, and kind of see how we can do that. I think we recognize that, hey, there's a way we could actually collaborate here, at least in terms of, just keeping the momentum going on the lead front, and, doing the day-to-day grind, which, I think as you would probably attest to, it's like, if you're just like kind of solo doing that on your own, it can be, challenging day to day to just, want to get up and hit the phones, knowing that most people aren't going to answer. And the ones that do, most of them don't even want to talk to you. But, just having a group of people kind of on that same journey, I think we found it helpful at the time. But like along the way, man, there came a time where you really shift gears and, decided to kind of take a closer look at, at that point, EXP Realty, which, is where I had, at one point transitioned my business over. So I guess the question is, like, why shift gears, man? Because I think you had been with a couple different firms up to that point. Like, what was it about EXP Realty that, made you and your brother want to shift gears and start building your real estate business here?
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great question. And when we had first met you, Tyler, it was 2016. We had just gotten started, and like you said, we were cold calling, generating leads, getting the message out there that we were agents and trying to sell and doing all that other kind of stuff. And for those of y'all watching out there, I remember Tyler telling us about EXP. And this was back in 2016. And at that point, my brother and I, we didn't even know what real estate was. Yeah, we didn't know how to submit an offer. We didn't, for the longest time, I didn't even know how realtors were paid. I didn't know if it was, flat fee or per house or whatever the case might be. So, we were kind of, trying to put the pieces together of what the real estate business was. We were still doing music full throttle at that time. And really, when we started in real estate, we just wanted to do part time. We were thinking of maybe even doing apartment locating or something like that, until you realize that when you get into real estate, it's a bit of an encompassing industry. We're working when people are off work. We're working on weekends. We're taking phone calls, doing stuff in the evenings. So when we started getting our grasp, EXP is it's our third brokerage. So what really made us switch gears, my first company was amazing. The training was amazing, the camaraderie, the culture, everything was great. I loved it. I loved my broker, but I didn't learn about how to generate business, right? And just like Tyler said, that's the day to day. So I needed something that was a little more aggressive. So we found another broker that was super aggressive about generating business. And Daniel and I said, we need to learn, what are they doing? How are they doing it? Let's learn from them. They were experts in that field. So we went over there. But what made us transition, it was very easy, but it was difficult at the same time, because at our last company, we were top producers over there. We were doing well. We were making money. We were having fun. The company was cool. The culture, the atmosphere, everything was great, until you start realizing that real estate is a 100% base commission sales job with no benefits. And as soon as I really started, and this is the truth, everyone who all the naysayers and everyone that has something off the wall to say about EXP, those are people that are intimidated by it. Those are people that are shut off to it. Those are people that have lost agents to EXP. So for a while, we were just like, don't even talk to us about it. We're doing fine. We're making money, until you realize that there's a better way to do it. And it was the multiple streams of income. It was the ability to build a revenue share organization, and the ability to be an owner in the company. Daniel and I looked at each other, and we're in our 30s, and we said, we have another 15 to 20 to 25 years maybe in this business. What is our picture going to look like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road? Are we going to wake up on January 1st of every year worried about where our next paycheck's going to come from because we need to sell a house to get paid? And I told Daniel, me personally, and we can ask Daniel about it. When I saw EXP, I was sold on it almost immediately, and that was in the summer of 2018. So from the time we met Tyler, that was 2 years. The summer of 2018, that's when it took that time for me to really open my eyes and be open to the opportunity. And Tyler was the first person that I called. And I remember calling you. I said, "Hey Tyler, I'm ready to hear it. I'm ready to see it. I'm open to it now." It was that time in our life. My brother was getting ready to his first baby was on the way, and we were starting to think like real estate's great, right? But how are we going to do this and be able to build the most and do the best that we can for ourselves and our family? And for us, EXP was the vehicle. So we reached out to Tyler. Tyler put the pieces together for us, and the rest is history from there. All I can say is I wish we would have taken a look at it in 2016, but we did it in 2019. We're here now. We're building and we're having fun. So yeah, can't thank you enough, man.
I love it, man. And yeah, anyone who really builds something here has the same sentiment no matter when it was that they joined. And that was your perspective kind of from the outside looking in. So, like, having had the time on task, coming up on, I believe, your 5th year with the company here, what has the actual impact been, man? Like, what's been most beneficial about operating you and your brother's business here? And like, how has that actually played out over these first few years?
And that's what really gets me the most excited about it is I still feel like we're getting started, but I feel like we've already accomplished, a good amount in just a little bit of time that we've been here. So I'm super excited for the years to come. But with that being said, now Daniel and I are, we're 3-time icon agents with the company. So for those of y'all who know what the icon award is, that's super huge. And what we tell people all the time, when we're with a client, let's say, and they're looking at getting into a new place to live, we're always telling them about the benefits of being a homeowner, right? We don't, in some instances, renting is okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with renting, but we tell them the benefits of being a homeowner. It's the same thing with being at EXP. Why pour into a company that you don't have any ownership, you don't have any stake, you don't have anything building in the background? So, we've been able to accumulate stock not only through the agent equity program, but now we're 3-time icon agents. And, so we're owners in the company, and people take care of what they own, right? If you went to go rent, a high performance sports car, you're going to run that sports car a little harder than the one you own, right? I mean, it's you take care of what you own. So we're building that, continuing to build that, and then we have a revenue share organization that's helping us with day-to-day expenses. It's growing. We're helping people, and like people in our organization say all the time, we're blessing people with the opportunity, because now we're earning multiple streams of income. We're building wealth just by doing the same thing that we were doing, which is selling real estate, helping people, helping families. But now we're getting paid 3 ways instead of one. And I mean, I can't say enough about for me and for us in our business, EXP is a no-brainer, and all we want to do is help other agents and help more people to see the vision and live it out for themselves.
I love it, brother. And that's, man, you're so good at explaining kind of like what it's like and what the difference makes. But yeah, exactly on point. Now, if we're looking back on your entire journey into real estate, kind of starting out in the business, you know, we can always talk about the wins, the success, and I think that's what really appeals to people. But you know, what doesn't really stand out, I think, to most that are early on in this journey is like what it actually takes, like what you have to overcome, the struggles, the challenges, you know, the probably sleepless nights that we've had to have along the way. So like, if you had to boil it down, like, what would you say the most difficult thing you've had to overcome has been since deciding to commit to this journey in real estate?
That's an awesome question, and I love that you touched on that. I was thinking about that just yesterday, actually. You know, when we were back in our music days, all we would do is give, right? You know, I can't tell you how many times we performed, you know, we were never paid. Everyone said, "Hey, you do it for the exposure." Yeah, it's just because they didn't want to pay us, right? As musicians, we were struggling artists, starving artists, right? And we did that for 20 years. We did that for 20 years, from the time we were teenagers till the time we were 30, in our 30s. And really, you know, I see people say it all the time. If you're not willing to do something for free for 5 years, then just don't do it. You know, because we're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, we're starting companies as realtors from the ground. We're starting from scratch. So going back to the beginning, my first year in real estate, I had 4 transactions. And guess what? 2 of them were my dad. 2 of them were investment properties for my dad. It was my very first day in real estate. I didn't know what direction was up. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know if I was doing the right thing. And my dad calls and says, "Hey, I want to put an offer in on a property." I had no clue what an offer even was. You know, I was, what? So luckily I had a great sales manager. He helped me through, but that was our beginnings. You know, and everyone thinks, and I love training other agents, and I'm a mentor with the company. And what I tell new agents all the time is you have to give it patience. You have to give it time to develop. No one's going to start in a brand new career and be appointed to a, you know, top ranking position. Everyone has to start from the bottom, you know, start from somewhere, and then you build. So it wasn't until well into our third set, maybe end of our second to third year in real estate, that Daniel and I really started finding momentum. So what my biggest piece of advice is, learn all you can, practice, and please don't give up. And what we tell people all the time, when you're a new agent, if you can have some of those reserves, if you can have 6 months to 12 months of reserves just to get you through, because it really is important. And yeah, there are some anomalies out there that they get their license and all of a sudden they're ultra successful. But for most agents, it's a learning journey, and it's a really enjoyable journey when you're not so stressed out about, oh my gosh, I need a transaction to close in 45 days, or I'm going to miss my car payment, or I'm going to miss my rent or my mortgage payment or whatever. So give it time, try to have some reserves, because really that's what helped us. We were working part-time. I was working as a pharmacy technician, and my brother was working as a phlebotomist, and we were living at home. And you know, I mean, those were our saving graces. And if it wasn't for that, we probably wouldn't be in the real estate business right now. So it's support, you know, trying to have the support of your loved ones. I can't tell you how much we're grateful for that. That's the only that was our that was our only saving grace. And then our part-time jobs. That's the only way we stayed afloat. But that's when we learned. You learn, you practice, and so give it time, and don't give up.
That's incredible, and that's the reality behind it. I mean, you didn't just get into this business as a rock star, and all of a sudden you're a top producer, right? I mean, I really appreciate you sharing those details and giving that perspective. And to compare and contrast, like I think a lot of people watching this, it's like when I introduced you and said, "Hey, now rep top 250 agents in the nation," and you mentioned three-time icon agents. I don't think a lot of people know what that means. So, like to put it concisely, like what kind of like how many houses do you guys sell a year at this point?
Yeah, I mean, good question. So, I don't know our final numbers for the year. What's real interesting is the way we run our business. We kind of just go like nose to the grindstone, and then once we get through all the fog, then we'll kind of step back and see where we ended up. Right. Our job and our mission is just to keep the pipeline flowing. We like to keep anywhere from 6 to 10 deals in escrow at a time. So if we're running low on that, if we only have 2 or 3, Daniel and I are like, oh my, we need to rev up the gas. Like, let's go, let's go, let's go. So I could say for last year, because we haven't even finished computing the numbers for this year. Last year we did, I think it was like 47 transactions. The year before that, we did close to 60 transactions. This year, we're probably going to end up probably in that 40 to 45 transactions, maybe a little bit more because we do have some closings coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But that's kind of where we're finding our groove. But now, Tyler, you know this more than anybody. Once you find your groove, that's when you really have to push yourself more, right? We don't want to get complacent at that number. We know we can do 20 plus million in volume. We know we can close 75, 80 transactions. So our objective for this coming year is not only to increase our agent attraction efforts and activity, because I mean, for us, that's a huge component of why we're here. And really it goes back to that servant mentality. We want to help agents do the same things that we're doing. So we want to focus on that, but at the same time we're looking to build out the team, put the right people in the right places, because we know we can do 25 million or more. I mean, why limit it to 25? We know we can do more than 25 million. So that's what our numbers have been so far. And we're just getting started, man. We know we can continue to crush and do it bigger. Why not do it bigger? We can do it bigger. Let's do it.
That's the mindset I love. Why stop? Why say we're done here? And so here's the real question though, like in like because you know exactly what it's like to be at ground zero clients, not even really knowing how to navigate the business, shoot, not even knowing how you get paid in this business. I know exactly what that's like too. So zero clients, $0 to real estate, going from there to consistently closing over 40 deals per year, and a mindset that you're going to do a whole lot more, where that came from. What would you say the biggest breakthrough you had was along the way in the process of going from zero to where you are today?
Yeah, great question. It really the answer is we had to do it at a manageable pace. Okay. If we would have gone from 0 transactions to 40 transactions, I mean, it doesn't, that kind of transition doesn't happen overnight. So, I remember our first year, right? Like I mentioned, Daniel and I only did a handful of transactions. Our second year, we really started getting serious. I remember after our second year, I think between Daniel and myself, I think we had done a little shy of 5 million in production or something like that. But what our real breakthrough was when we got into EXP. We knew that our number one objective, because we didn't necessarily want to focus too much energy on the attraction end when we started, because we knew we had so much more to accomplish before we could really start hitting the gas hard on the attraction side. Because people, when it comes to attraction other than recruiting, we knew that we wanted to be where people wanted to be. And that solution for us was hitting icon. I'll never forget when, we knew we had to up our numbers, we knew we had to up our lead count, but now we knew that we were at EXP Realty, and now we knew that we wanted to help other people and we wanted to attract agents. So to attract agents, you have to make yourself attractive. So we knew that our production had to increase. So I'll never forget they were announcing the top producers for the month, and I think this was in September of 2019, and they had announced us as one of the top producers in our region for that month. And I had told Daniel, I remember I saw it posted online. I said, this is what we need. This is what we've been missing. It's that, because we want to help agents get there, but they're not going to have faith in you and have faith in the process if you're not there. So we knew we had to get there and then start exceeding that. So that was the fuel behind us really ramping up our production, because we knew that the attraction side was important, but we knew we had to hit those milestones and exceed those milestones, and that was going to help our efforts, rather than us coming from a place of, oh my gosh, I want to help y'all and check out this company. We can help you sell more houses. And then right away they turn it back on us. Well, how many houses have you sold? Right? Everyone wants to be coached from a coach that has been where they want to get. And that's why now, not only do we want to continue to push that envelope and help more people and help more families on the real estate buying and selling and investing in real estate, but now we want to help those agents that want to get to icon and above, or start their own teams or do it. We want to help them because now we can give them the playbook for how we did it. So that was the fuel behind us improving and increasing our production. And that's why we want to keep increasing our production.
I love it. You set a target and you looked at the pipeline and you started to do more of what would be required to progress towards it. And I love to hear kind of the mindset of helping other people on that journey and kind of leading by example, having done it and continuing to do it too. So kind of winding down here, man, maybe like last question or two, but like, looking forward, man, I know you think a lot about the future and just what can actually be accomplished here, especially with an opportunity like the one we have here with EXP. But like, what would you say you most look forward to accomplishing in the time ahead?
Well, we're looking to grow. We're going to be expanding our efforts. We're going to be working not only in San Antonio and surrounding areas, but now we've expanded. Some of our revenue share is now down in the Rio Grande Valley, so we're going to be spending a lot more time, a lot more effort helping agents, spreading the EXP message down there. So we're really looking to double down on the attraction efforts, and we want to keep the production going. It's not only that, I'm working on my broker's license. So hopefully by the beginning of the year, I'll be able to sit and test for my broker's license. So we're constantly trying to improve our value. We want to come from contribution. We want to help people. We want to be a resource for not only agents, but for customers and clients. We know what the terrain is like out there for real estate and realtors, and we want to be that source of information and guidance and helping people through the process. So I guess to answer your question, our goal is continued growth, continued learning, and we want to be that resource. We want, when agents say, I want to do what these guys are doing, right? We want to help them do what we're doing. And we want to roll out the playbook. Guys, if y'all want to increase your production, here's how you do it. If you want to improve your social media presence, here's how you do it. If you want to hit icon, here's how you do it. If you want to improve your knowledge in real estate, here. So we want to be that source for not only information and knowledge, but we want to help more people, agents, and real estate clients. That's what we do, and that's what we want to continue to do.
And on that note, let me say this to those watching, you've watched up to this point. If you've resonated with anything that Alan has shared, or if you feel like he's really speaking to you as far as getting to a point where you are more productive, where you're building something more for yourself and your family as you're on this journey, do this. Send me an email. You'll find that in the description below. Make sure you mention Alan Lozano's name. I want to know that you saw this specific interview, and let us know where you're at on the real estate journey, kind of where you're at, on this journey. Are you in the business? What kind of production are you doing? What's your vision moving forward? And we'll get back to you. And if it's appropriate, I will work to coordinate a call with Alan here to see how he can best help and support you on the journey looking forward. Is that cool with you, Alan?
I would love that. And Tyler, again, going back to talking about Tyler, was a huge source of inspiration and information for us. So, if myself or my brother or Tyler, if we can help with any kind of information or any kind of advice or guidance, whether it's to increase your production, whether you're thinking about EXP or not, we're here to help no matter what. We feel like, especially me, myself, I feel like real estate has been a blessing to us, myself, my family, and Daniel and his family. We went from losing money every single week playing music, and we were lucky to be able to stay at home with our family, with my mom and dad, who I love, and they were super supportive, to now, we've been able to make a great life for ourselves, and real estate and EXP were the vehicles. So we want to help other people do that. So I love helping new agents. I love mentoring new agents. So if there's anything we can do to help you guys, please reach out.
There you go. Reach out. And Alan, very last thing, if you could go back to yourself, day one in this business with the license, knowing everything you've learned since then, and give yourself just one small piece of advice, what would that be?
That piece of advice would be to think bigger. I remember when I started in real estate, going back to targets and milestones. Let me put it to you like this, Tyler. In my mind, day one in real estate, I said, if I can make $20,000, I will be a success. I didn't have any grasp on what the real estate industry was or what it could provide. I was thinking, gosh, I just need to make some kind of money. I was making $16 an hour. I was only working part-time. It was hard for me to find two pennies to rub together at the end of the few bills that I was paying. And that's that I didn't own a house. I wasn't even living in an apartment, so if I could go back, my goal was 20,000. If I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would be think bigger than that. Why limit yourself? And that's why I don't like to put limits on what we can do and what we're going to do. I know we're going to do it. So that would be the piece of advice as a realtor in 2016 going in first day. I would say think bigger and don't limit yourself.
I love it. What a note to end on. And Alan, if anyone wants to follow you along the journey, where would be the best place for them to do that?
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Alan Lozano Realtor. You can follow my brother. He's there, facebook.com/Daniel Lozano Realtor. And then follow us on Instagram. We're at Instagram at Property Hermanos. So Daniel and I are the Property Hermanos. So you can follow us there. And then we're also on Instagram at Alan Lozano Realtor and at Daniel Lozano Realtor. So y'all come follow us and drop us a line. We'd love to get in touch with y'all.
Perfect. Well, Alan, thank you so much again, brother, for coming on. Taking valuable time out of your day to share with the audience here. I know they gained something if they were paying attention out of this conversation, and we just might connect with some people in the process here. But everyone else, if you're watching this, if somehow, some way you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that button. I mean, I don't think I even need to explain the value after watching that. But if you want more where that came from, you better make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything that I've got coming down the pipeline for you all. And that being said, thank you for watching. Make sure you support the video, and we will see you next time.